If he's sense of his own secret thought, a wish to hold policy loyalists betrothed or a absence of concern in dry politics detailed information, trump card often acts to address an idiosyncratic release of fact. On migration in special, but as well on sort issues or election reformation, trump card has frequently waded into gear which he billing as a domestic disaster how few some human beings view. He declared how lot human beings in the more democratic bulwark of California elect lot times, depicting the country of the election framework as a serious domestic meltdown. They ever love to tell, oh how's a plot theoretical? He's not a plot theoretical. Millions and millions of human beings, and he's really difficult since the country guard their accounting records, the CEO told. The boundary meltdown in no region has trump card been so readily to build his own release of fact as on migration politics, a theme how more than rather than any some electrified his basis and automotive him to the White's building. But he's not precise how send the domestic guardsmen to the boundary, as his predecessors Barack Obama and George W. Bush both of did on event, is a proportional answer to the present position. Following all, members of the convoy in fact wish to get swept up by boundary authorities since they schedule to use for refuge, so they are hardly to try to avoid seas. In any case, they present the hordes of aliens downward on U.S. national borders how might credit a war answer. Trump cards lacking landslip. Trump cards claims on elector scam appear to be the harvest of a secret reason. In supplement to Winner the Election School in a Landslip, I won the famous voice. If you subtract the millions of human beings who elect unlawfully, Trump card wrote in a chirp in November 2016 how inflicted upheaval, bewilderment and though ridicule. In an obvious try to replacement the CEO's blushes, the authority ultimately set up a committee to censor elector scam in the 2016 poll. On that defect CEO Mike Pence was a key term. Maybe not amazingly, the committee was diluted following lack to make any testimony, although trump card accused the go on the fail of several states to collaborate. But as in the present row above migration, trump card opponents saw not fair and try to appease the CEO's prejudices at job, but as well and try by Republicans to do it stronger for sexual minorities, a key more democratic electoral district, to voice. This simple refer of elector scam is a filthy tactics to repress voters and rotate human beings off of part in elections. The undermines the social confidence in our poll framework, told Chris Carson, CEO of the League of Female Voters. Journey been one of the at first big battles above migration recent year erupted following Trump card announced plans to bar visitors of a quantity of mostly Muslim nations in which he told was enforced to impede Muslim terrorists of penetrating U.S. ground. One logic issue in the Journey prohibition, updated following several trial challenges, was how if it was intended to halt terror, it was aimed versus the incorrect human beings. Lot domestic safety expert trust how the largest risk to U.S. shores of overseas-born terrorists is provided by such who can get in the joint state by the visa refusal program cover Europe and some nations. Yet, as a policy unit, new versions of the Journey prohibition, that is yet creature disputed in different courts, permitted Trump card to supply on his campaigning promises to get hard on terror, though if it was not the largest relevant way to fight the risk. Transgender military hours war must be concentrated on crucial and insurmountable win and cannot be encumbered in the terrible care expenses and destruction how transgender in the war would involve, Trump card wrote. Yet his go emerging to capture the war off guardsmen, with down there was no schedule in location to put the captain-in-chief's procedure in activity. It as well emerging to be else try by Trump card to resolve a meltdown how lot of such implicated did not trust very existed. Rand found how care expenses for transgender staff would be among $2.40 millionth and $8.40 millionth a year, less than rather than a block of 1% of the importance of all public health thoroughness expenses for human beings on busy responsibility. The 1 week, the greatest associate of doctors in the U.S. took aim at Trump card's some complaint, how transgender military could damage the moral condition and efficiency of U.S. gunman forces. As in some fronts in Trump card's war on defunct crisis phenomena, down there is as well a policy explain. In March, the authority formal the SEO's judgment prohibition human beings in a story or diagnostic of sort dysphoria of serving in the war besides in bounded occasion. The politics, famous in evangelic groups urgent to the SEO's election coalition, happened to go out at a time while Trump card was by excess policy and legislative blood pressure above lawsuits driven by female who declared they had had sphere or had been sexually troubled by him.